And those are just pivotal moments in business as well. Sometimes a lot of businesses will start out one way, but end up another. And so sometimes it just takes just pivots, right? You pivot, you do well. You pivot, you do good until that one thing that you're trying to get across works. We rebranded to the Unscripted podcast. Did we start to build something that we thought was true in the moment, but wasn't supposed to be?
It's a haste issue.
When something becomes not fun anymore and it feels like work, something is off.
I can't be who I am during the day and then come here and do this. There's nothing on this planet that I would go do alone just for the sake of doing it alone and making it, like, period. If I knew there was 100% success if I went and did it alone, I still would not do it because that's not what I value.
I think how we have it presented today is fit this visionary mold of what we thought it was going to be. What's up? Dude.
Oh man, it doesn't matter how long you've been podcasting for, apparently. It's always a challenge.
To say the freaking least, man.
We are back.
Gosh.
We are back. We are back, man. We had some some life stuff happen, especially in your basketball court, if you want to call it that.
Basketball court, football, field, whatever you feel.
Yeah. No, man, really, really exciting stuff, man. And obviously, we find ourselves back where we kind of adopted you on with today's podcast, virtual, and you're drinking your dragon blood.
Dragon drink, by the way.
Is that what it's called? Is that legit what it's called?
Dragon drink?
Yes.
Yes, it is. It's dragon fruit.
Ah, got it.
Yeah, there's dragon fruit in it.
Yeah, what other sissy thing?
No, it's dragon fruit, water, coconut milk, and then it had protein cold foam on top. So this thing right here has 15 grams of protein in it. No joke.
I knew there was something sissy in there.
Sissy?
You just kind of slid in the sweet cream cold foam in there.
I didn't say sweet cream cold foam. I said protein cold foam.
Oh, okay.
There's 15 grams of protein in this drink.
Yeah.
What about you? Did you hit your protein goals today? No. No, you didn't.
And water.
From the looks of it, you got what? 60, 70 grams?
Grams of protein?
Yeah.
Bro.
So it looks like. Looking a little weak.
Look a little puffy. That's what's going on, dude. Got some water retention that's happening.
Cold plunge, man. Sweat House is having a deal right now. Four cold plunge, and four cold plunge, 4 saunas for $99.
What? That's excellent.
Yeah.
I might have to capitalize on that.
Yeah, man. But dude, I think it's cool that we're kind of back to where we started. Yeah. Just because of life and crap like that, it doesn't matter. But I love being back in this space as well, though. Although I'm glad we got the audio fixed up, and I hope I don't have another showing at my house because I really don't want to do this again. Because I have to put everything up and put everything back, and I probably should have taken pictures. So noted that I'll do that next time. But man, it's really cool to be back here.
Yeah. No, it is, man, and it's interesting to kind of see the contrast of where we started, dude. It was just so grainy and just distorted. So it's nice. Obviously, this is out of necessity, right? It was fun at Venture X. Not to say that Venture X is not going to be a potential in the future, but we just needed to get back to, I think, our houses so we could maximize our potential. It's a lot. It's a lot to pack up to go to Venture X, especially for a 2-hour, ordeal. You have to get there 30 minutes early, just trying to get set up and that sort of thing. It just kind of beats into a day. And so hopefully we can take advantage of this during this season of our busy,
I hope so,
especially home lives and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think so. At the end of the day, it's comfort. Feels good.
Yeah,
nice to be back in the. Oh, you saw that, didn't you? I just raised up my.
You got robots holding up your stuff. Yeah,
that's right,
awesome.
Man.
It's awesome. That was a very neat sound. It sounded good from my side.
Beautiful. Yeah, I feel like I was really low, man. So, I think we start there.
Okay.
What I think there's something to say about vision and expectation.
Okay.
And so, with the vision of where we are now, does it match your expectation?
Or where we should have been?
Or not even just where we are today,
Uh-huh.
like the vision of what we had for our podcast, does it match your expectation?
Oh no.
No?
No, bro. My expectations are unrealistic. I just know that. I
Yeah.
have, especially, if you spend a whole bunch of time on YouTube or social media or anywhere else, and you have this idea of like what you want it to like look like, you know, that's I was about to write today, and I'm still going to write this. I was about to write. You know what's interesting about podcasting is, especially like what we're doing, is the more we don't reach what I thought the expectation was of where we were going to be, where we currently are right now,
Mm-hmm.
the more, how do I say this? The more when I remove myself from that and I kind of take a
Mm-hmm.
step back, I realize we're exactly like where we need to be. That's
I
the
like that.
difference. Is where I wanted to be. Are we there? No. Where we are, is it where we need to be? Probably, considering
Yeah.
everything we've got going on. And so, like, I was actually going to write, like, on Facebook and Instagram, I was going to write something to go, um, do I post every single week on the dot by 9 o'clock in the morning? No. Sometimes it's 9:05. Sometimes it's 9:10. Do I, do I get 10 pieces of content out per week? Some weeks, yes. Some weeks, no. By everyone else's standards, I'm failing. Is that the most realistic thing that I'm experiencing right now? Absolutely. Like, this
Mm-hmm.
is just my experience podcasting. Why am I trying to take my podcasting experience and mirror it around somebody else's? You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, why hold myself to that expectation that we should be at those places when just everything that we've got going on here and now is so demanding that the fact that we're even just doing it, you say it all the time, just getting started. The fact that we're just here and just doing this right now when we could be doing a million other things,
Mm-hmm.
I think that we're winning.
And I
In
think
some
that's
way.
really good, and I like kind of how what we were talking last night, right? Like, what does it look like? I think there's pivotal moments inside of a podcast. There's pivotal moments inside business. There's pivotal moments everywhere, right? I mean, I've known founders literally launch their businesses like grand opening new launch 5, 6, 7 times
Yeah.
because this is what it takes, right? Like, hey, who's gonna know you launched 5 times when the first, 5, 6 people didn't
So
see anything?
so what, like A/B testing basically of launches?
No, it's just like, hey, we launched, you're right, and so then
Cricket.
you do right crickets, right, and then
Oh
okay,
man, that
and you
sucks.
go, no worries, all right, let me recalibrate, let me do it differently the next time. Awesome, hey, launched. Hey guys, we've noticed that some of you have been watching so much of our content, and we really appreciate it. But we also see that some of you have not subscribed yet, and we just want to let you know that it's free to subscribe. It's free to watch the content that we have. You can watch it at YouTube, you can watch it on Spotify, you can watch it on TikTok, but the place to be is YouTube. Go subscribe, click the bell, let us know you're there, and get ready for the next one. Maybe only 2 crickets. And then you keep going, and then now it's like, okay, and
Yeah,
every
those crickets are
time the
your
idea is learning something new, and that's kind of what you do, right? And
Mm.
so they launched like 7 times, and the seventh one actually allowed them to get some traction, right? And those are just pivotal moments in business as well. Sometimes a lot of businesses will start out one way but end up another, or whatever it may be, you know. And so sometimes it just takes just pivots, right? You pivot, you do well. You pivot, you do good, until that one thing that you're trying to get across works.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know if I said this to you. I don't know if I was talking to you or if I was talking to somebody else. I feel like it was to you. But I was explaining about how, like, my idea of what I want to see out of pretty much everything I do may not be like what I'm actually supposed to be doing. Does that make sense?
Say it again.
Like my vision for my life
may not match what you're supposed to be doing. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So when we podcast, like when we do this, when we jump on here, when we go after our next guest, or even just trying to like jump into like,
all right.
So I feel like as we're diving into some of the things that we're doing from a business perspective, that overarching expectation of, just like your question, like, do I feel like we've reached it? Like not even 10%. And I want to be there so bad. Like I want all of that tech so bad. Like I want people to be calling and like commenting on everything so bad that expectation is just, it's just enormous where I feel like it should be. And then we miss all the nuances in between of how fun and how just naturally creative this, experience is. You touched your mic and muted it.
I'm going to ask you a question that just dawned on me. Do you think with the Unscripted podcast and what we kind of built with the Unscripted podcast, in the moment felt like truth, but in reality, we were building an idea that wasn't supposed to be? So
reword that for me. Yeah. I feel like I know what you're saying, but I want to make sure.
And I'll let you respond to it, and then I'll respond to it as well. Do you feel like when we were building and we rebranded to the Unscripted podcast, did we start to build something that we thought was true in the moment, but wasn't supposed to be?
Like the thing itself wasn't supposed to be there yet?
No. Let me answer it, and maybe it'll spark some a question, or maybe it'll spark you. As I'm going through it, and as the conversations that we have, just like we're doing right now, feels like a very natural extension of who we are. And we oftentimes try to merge business within the realms of what we're doing, which yesterday you called out. That seems very confusing to an audience, right? Because we'll start off with a business topic and then we'll branch out to personal things happening, whatever it may be, right? And so should they be distinctly separate? And so from my point of view and what I'm thinking, not even what I'm thinking, I think what kind of just hit me is, did we start to build something that in essence was supposed to be something else, but we had this idea in our head that we pushed through? And maybe that was me inadvertently. I don't even think we knew it at the time. We obviously didn't, but I think almost it was like this thing that with my ideas on it and your ideas on it, it became this middle ground of an idea, but maybe it wasn't supposed to be that. Maybe it was supposed to be us having these real conversations that we're talking about right now, or what we started off with, hey, I just had a baby in life and stuff like that, right? And then bringing people into the fold of who we are and what we do, right? And keeping our business stuff separate to where you have, what we were talking about yesterday, we have the aggregate business podcast. I have a data security podcast, right? You know what I mean? It keeps it separate in that way, because what we're trying to build and what we're trying to push is not working. So is that one, a skill issue, or is it a purpose issue?
It's a haste issue.
Haste, what's
You muted yourself again, by the way. You have to be careful when you're touching that. Let me put it to you this way. First company I ever worked for in the oil field. Yeah.
Mhm.
Won't name names out of respect for the company. But the first company I worked in the oil field, you've been following along for a little while, you know who they are. But we put in so much hard work. I mean, for my first corporate oil field job, like we put in so much work for year and a half, 2 years, and really pioneered a new lane for safety service in the Permian Basin, right? And then off of all of that, the ownership decided to pair off for whatever their reasons are, and I'm not knocking this, but they paired off and adopted on a investor for I think I don't even want to throw out false numbers, but a pretty high evaluation of the business. And that person came in a suit and tie in oil field country. Loss number one, right? Get out of here. You know, we're all old. We're literally sitting in this like classroom where we used to do all these trainings. We've got oil based mud all over us. We all stink like H2S and all this kind of stuff. And this dude's in a suit. So he's from New York. Do I think that was a bad move for the company? Yes. Because that merger happened. They poured resources in. We merged in with another service company, a part of that resource pouring and injection, and it died. Everything that we initially had built died, was no longer that, and became some new shell of what the former entity was, right? I think if you take the Days In podcast and all the work that went into it initially, right? And this is don't take this as a negative kind of concept and adaptation here, but if you take all that hard work and then you pair that with some of the successes that you're starting to see happen, and you take another resource and you put haste on what's organically producing, I think you flip a coin 50-50 on whether or not it's actually going to be what it should be or not. Meaning, you and I came together, we're striking ideas over cigars, and this feels really good.
Yep.
Oh, we're talking. Oh, what kind of? You're writing down notes. You're flipping out notebooks and writing down notes about what kind of gear, and you can see it in what we're doing here right now versus what it used to look like with the gear that we have. But what kind of gear do we need? I'm like laying out all these expectations of gears that we need. We're tossing out guest expectations, all these different things. That felt really good. Was that probably what we should have been doing at that time? Probably not. Realistically, which is not a bad thing because you have to figure it out. But I think what would have made more sense, maybe this is just the path that God has us on, so we can really understand the purpose behind this thing. Through sometimes you need failure for that, or setback and pivot. But let's say it was the other direction in another way. Sometimes just continuing on something that's already working for a period of time to understand what direction we should be going in the first place. Is not a bad idea.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
That answers your question.
Yeah. I think in hindsight you never know, right? Like we have no clue, but and so I think this is a very real conversation that just kind of organically just happened. My gut says, should we get back there? But that's the wrong question. That's not a question. It's, how do we get back there? Right? Because if we're not presenting ourselves in this like authentic way, right? And a lot of things that you've talked about on the podcast as well, and how you presented yourself to some guests, and the thing that you've been really open about is you're like, well, I feel like I needed to kind of compensate a little bit on some of the sides, because either you didn't know the conversation, or you felt whatever it was between the guests and all of us talking together, and vice versa. And so if we're going to be authentic no matter what, and we're building something because we love doing it, and all of a sudden it feels like work again, there's a disconnect.
Yeah.
Right. There's a disconnect, right? Because my biggest thing is once something doesn't becomes not fun anymore, and it feels like work, then something is off, right? Something is off, right? Because and there's nuances to that, right? I think when you're building something, like, there's parts of your craft that sometimes you don't like, but you have to. It's part of the craft, right? And so a lot of people like editing, but there's a part of editing that they just literally hate, that they wish that they wish they could automate every time, or they will hire it out because they don't want to do it, right? There's a part of the craft, everyone's craft, that they don't like. It's very rare that somebody has a craft where they love every single inept process when it comes to it. But if we're there, I feel like this is an inflection point for us, is the conversations that we're having together off camera are life-giving. Those are the same conversations that should be on camera. Right? And so I don't know what that looks like, because I'm in my mind, I'm like, this is literally, this is happening in real time to me. So I'm trying to think and say at the same time, because I'm actually trying to think about it, because it's happening in real time.
It's also a different environment that we're in for the podcast. I'm not the guy on LinkedIn jumping on there going, F you, F you, F you, F you, I'm the best.
Right.
I'm fired tomorrow if I'm doing it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I can be candid all I want, but we both live within, which is also unique, so let's not take away from this, but we both live within a very liability and confidentiality sensitive career, right? You're not out there spilling the beans about tech or data and security issues specifically that your clients are dealing with, and naming names and drop. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Information. You have to be. Although we could, and would that provide like so much content? Yes, but we're not those types of guys. We can't go do that. I can't be who I am during the day. And Christine said this too. And I won't quote her, but I do agree with her. I can't be who I am during the day and then come here and do this. She can't. She was having an issue with being an insurance, sales individual. I think that's what she was doing. And then going back and doing, the other stuff she was, and there's like a reflection or like a negative connotation on some of those things. Same thing. Like, I can't go do my safety career and then come here and then be completely open and candid to the extent that I really want to, without that negatively impacting. So I would have to make a decision. Do I want to do this? And that's where that unrealistic, or do I want to continue doing what I'm doing for my career? And that's where that unrealistic expectation happens, where it's like, well, this isn't producing enough or really anything for me to drop the other, right? So you're kind of at that weird inflection point of, what do I do? How do I push this forward? Does pushing this forward require me to give up the security of my 9 to 5? Am I ready for that? Do I even want that? That's just, those are good questions that I ask myself when I look in the mirror, because I do enjoy my career.
Something I was just writing down is, who we are is not separated by professional and personal lives. We are who we are everywhere. Right. And if we believe that, then that should invoke everywhere.
You'll learn. You're gonna
I will
learn.
learn one day. Maybe. I don't know. Sometimes you're supposed to learn from your mistakes, but I've done it 3 times now. So
You want to know? You want to know why that's doing that? It's because that's technically supposed to be on the top side.
correct. Yeah.
So you're having a Cody moment. Don't know how that dude figures out how to get a boom arm the wrong direction, but
Listen, if I have to stare at a microphone the entire time again and not see his face ever,
we got to get him back on the show. Dude.
it just looks like he's hiding behind a light pole the entire time you're on a podcast with him. Hey, put your head to the left.
Yeah.
But
That's interesting.
And
I don't think it's about getting back there.
I don't think it's about getting back there, but I believe we're at I truly believe we're at a pivot moment right now in real time. I think it's a pivot moment. I think this is a pivot moment because let's zoom out a little bit, right, from the conversation. Over the last 2.5 months, you've been going, okay, I've been like really even trying to think about like what are you called into, and what's really on your spirit that says, hey, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, right? And you've had this inflection of like trying to, or this not inflection, but this like push of like pushback of like, where does that start and end for me, right? And then even before that, you've been going, we even had a small pivot where we were like, I really want to have these more godly conversations in our podcast. I really want these, right, where we're talking more. And it was beautiful to be able to have a couple of people on our podcast that really dove into that, right? Adam Weisner as being one of them. And so what I'm getting at is what we were talking about yesterday and last night, right? And I think this conversation is a extension of that. I believe we need to be pivoting to these meaningful conversations that we have now, right? If we were truly supposed to take the best parts of the Days In podcast and the best parts of what we thought were going to be in the Unscripted podcast, if we're really thinking about it, man, we abandoned the Days In podcast vision. You know what I mean? Like we abandoned that because we're not talking about the end of the day anymore, right? We're not having meaningful conversations anymore. We're very much pushing these ideas along, to meet with the best and brightest minds that there are. When in reality, that's not the essence of what we were trying to build in the first place. That's not what got us excited, right? It was exciting because of the momentum. Momentum is very exciting. But if we want something that is sustainable consistently over a long period of time, then it has to be something that you're willing to show up for the next 10 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you want transparency.
Of course I do. And I feel like you feel the same way as well.
Yeah, I don't think I had the words before. It was a very dreadful feeling of what I enjoyed about the Days In podcast was not any numbers, not who was listening, not the reach, but the fact that every conversation I was having was a thread from a conversation I had with Cameron or Cody on the phone throughout our day, experiencing what we're experiencing, good, the bad, the mental, the spiritual, the physical, whatever the case is, right? Marriage, friendships, business, even trying to do extra stuff. That was in there more than just sprinkled, because that was just all of our ambitions. But the thread for our conversations at the end of the day, even with the technical difficulties and all that kind of stuff, was us just picking up where we left off from those meaningful conversations. And so I absolutely agree with you there. And what's unfortunate about that is that in the process of transitioning away from that, and what made the Days in podcast just so therapeutic and just such a great experience, is the fact that I have less of those conversations with those people, or even us, and life happens and stuff like that, and things change and your time changes. And so we started taking that just really interesting thing to do, which is just have friends. What a wonderful experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
To have friends and then to have conversations, and that becomes something. And we kind of turned it into this like corporate polished nickel, in a way of, okay, how shiny can I get for someone to take interest in what we've got going on? But what we've got going on and the conversations that we have are interesting already.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with you, and it is painful. It is I think there's probably some deep rooted hurt in there somewhere, because ultimately that's what I value. There's nothing on this planet that I would go do alone just for the sake of doing it alone and making it, like, period.
Right.
Even if I know if I knew there was 100% success if I went and did it alone, I still would not do it, because that's not what I value.
Right. It's people, it's camaraderie, it's the right. And to be honest, that's what we're called to, right? We're called to do what we're called to have lives with other people, right? We're not supposed to do life alone. Yeah, man.
Interesting question. It was a good question.
And so as that unraveled, it kind of dawned on me, right? Of why did I love? Why did I even join? What was the reason of me joining in the first place? Or even before that, what was the reason of me even thinking about wanting to be a part of it in the first place, right? And from the get-go, it was like, I love the conversations, and it feels fantastic to be on the podcast, right? And it feels good,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so, but the farther you go away from that, and I mean, if I'm being honest, if we're being real truthful, since the day that we launched Unscripted podcast, it has been nothing about metrics, or it has been nothing but metrics.
It's been nothing but metrics.
Yeah, it's been nothing but metrics. And how do we meet those metrics, instead of how do we have important conversations that we love having?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's how it should have been, right? Because I don't think the name Unscripted or had anything to do with it. I think it had to do with how we transferred that over.
Yeah.
Interesting, man.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah, man, it's because the Days in podcast was already unscripted. That's why that was such a natural occurrence and transition. It was already unscripted, because if I call you on the phone, I'm like, dude, you're never going to believe what I just saw. I didn't plan that. That's an organic moment. And then we're talking just like yesterday, and then next thing I know, like, we're talking about tech ideas, and it's just a very organic friendship, camaraderie experience that when you get off of it, even if you're driving down the road, you have this smile, because you're like, man, we were aligned there for like even 30 minutes or 15 minutes. You know what I mean? And
exactly.
To be aligned with anyone, anywhere, at any time is a special thing, because there's so much in the world right now that's like trying to fight. That, like, to be aligned is a special thing.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I think, I think we take the next however long we need to figure out where that line is at for us.
I think we're already there.
I think so. I think exactly we know where to go. I think now it's about how do we truly pivot this now? How do we truly pivot it to where we need to go, right? And I don't think it's just conversations. I think it's the whole thing. I think it's the whole thing.
Yeah, I agree. You know what's interesting about business, though, especially when you're building anything, and I think you'll concur with this, is you don't reach an inflection point and then go like, okay, moving forward, we should adjust a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Usually what happens is, for the last 3 months or 6 months, you've already been you're making the switch. You just don't know it, because like someone does a little less of this or someone does a little less of that, right? Or you start to butt heads a little bit more than you were before, or whatever the case is. And for us, it was like life is hitting differently. You just kind of, you don't ever like hit that point and then go like, we need to like start over. That's why I feel like I think we know like where we are now and which way we need to go, because we've probably been experiencing that.
I'm listening.
Yeah, we've probably been experiencing that choke point for a little while. Yeah.
Oh, I think so. Especially when you try to, because there's been times where I think it just feels like you're pushing something. You're just like, it's like pushing up. It's like pushing a rock up a freaking hill, a boulder up a hill. And I think that times it feels like that, right? Yeah. And we're more worried about getting a reel out than we are about the content that we're putting out.
Exactly.
And so I think we regroup, man, and understand. I think Unscripted podcast is still very much describes who we are. But I truly think how we presented Unscripted is not in the light that it should be. I think I think we need to reposition the Unscripted podcast to be about the conversations that we truly love having, not the ones that we think are going to do really good on Reels.
Right. Yeah.
And get back to that level. And then if we want to do business or if we want to do something, then we separate that out. Right. And I think we talked about that a little bit, but we don't. I think right now it's about this, right? It's about this today, about the Unscripted podcast and how we're presenting it. And so I think how we have it presented today is fit this visionary mold of what we thought it was going to be. Mm-hmm. Right. It looks very business oriented. It looks very not corporate, but it has that fine gray line, which is what we were actually going after, Right. And so I think it's time to I think it's time to pivot that, solidify it, and make it happen.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting podcast.
More than just for the podcast too. I think just
100%
mentally and spiritually for what we've got going on right now. I think this is so necessary for the longevity of this thing, because I mean, ultimately, how long can you trudge through mud? You know what I mean?
You can't, right? I mean, in low key, I want to talk about the crap that my coworkers say. That's stupid as heck. I would love to do that.
Are you reading them right now?
Huh?
Are you reading them right now?
Oh no!
Are you talking about me?
Huh?
Are you
no? About... no, I'm being legit. I'm being legit.
Hey, dude, I was like, bro. Again, this is my final episode on Unscripted.
No, man. I think
it's fun. It has to be.
It has to be fun, and people have to see that, right? And that's why I think the way that we're presented now is not going to be seen that way. We're just not.
Anyways, folks,
podcast is great. Thank you.
We're being visited by Michael from the spirit realm. So,
oh my gosh,
what wise words do you have to say?
Zero, absolute zero.
I hate technology. No, it's been fun, brother. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man.
Till the next one.
Indeed. Peace.